It hurt her more than she expected to speak the truth aloud. "It's my first time, tonight," the towering bride whispered to the lonely cowboy. Her voice shook, not from the cold mountain air drifting through the cabin window, but from years of carrying a fear no one had ever cared to understand. Saskia Brennan, 6'3", broad-shouldered, powerful as a storm rolling across the plains, had never once been held with tenderness. At 25, after a lifetime of rejection, she had almost started believing the cruel words whispered behind her back. Calvin Rhodes, the quiet cowboy widower standing before her, saw it all in her eyes, the fear, the shame, the exhaustion of never feeling enough. 3 years had passed since he'd buried his first wife, and he had thought his heart was done with love. Yet here he was again, facing something new, something fragile. When Saskia whispered once more, "It's my first time," he did not smile, did not tease, did not assume. He simply touched her cheek and said softly, "Then we'll go easy." But how did a man make it easy for a woman who had been told she was too big, too strong, too different for tenderness? How could he undo years of wounds with a single night? And what secret was he holding, a quiet lesson from his first marriage, that shaped every gentle word he now offered? The bedroom door clicked shut. Saskia stood at the window in the simple wedding dress she had stitched herself, because no tailor in Colorado kept patterns large enough for her frame. A warm fire crackled behind her, but she felt cold all the way to her bones. Calvin didn't rush toward her. He waited by the door, steady, patient, giving her space to breathe. Fear, he knew, wasn't something you confronted. It was something you welcomed slowly until it softened. "I have to tell you something," she said without turning. Her voice trembled like a thread pulled too tight. "I'm listening," he answered gently. "I'm 25, she whispered, "and I've never even been kissed properly." She exhaled shakily. "A boy tried once at a barn dance, but he was drunk, and later said kissing me was like kissing a draft horse." Her shoulders folded inward. "I don't know how to be a wife tonight." Calvin's jaw clenched, though he kept his voice calm. "Turn around, Saskia." She hesitated, then slowly faced him. Firelight brushed one side of her face with gold, the other with shadow. She looked strong as a mountainside, trembling like its first snowfall. "Come here," he murmured, arms open. She didn't move. "I'm not delicate, Calvin. I'm not soft. I'm not the kind of woman men dream of." Her voice cracked. "And I'm terrified that I'm your wife now and I have no idea what comes next." He stepped closer, slow, intentional, until she had to look down into his warm eyes. "Do you know why I answered your letter?" he asked. She shook her head. "In the third paragraph," he said gently, "you wrote, 'I no longer apologize for taking up space, but I still hope to share that space with someone.'" His voice grew tender. "That's the moment I knew you were the woman I wanted." His hands cupped her face, small against her strong jaw, but full of certainty. "My first wife was tiny. Sweet. I loved her dearly. But when I lost her, I thought love was done with me." He smiled faintly. "Then your letter arrived and I realized, I didn't want someone to replace what I had lost. I wanted something entirely new. Someone strong enough to build a future beside me." Tears slid freely down Saskia's cheeks. "Everyone says it hurts," she whispered. "That the first night is something a woman just endures." "Not with me," Calvin said firmly. "Never with me. But you're a man. You have needs." I said we'll go easy," he interrupted. Kindly. "Whatever happens tonight happens on your terms. If we just talk until sunrise, that's more than enough." "You'd really wait," she whispered. "A night, a month, a year." His voice didn't waver. "Trust takes the time it takes." He placed his hand over her heart. "And mine is here, steady with yours." Her heartbeat softened beneath his touch. "Better?" he asked. "A little. What do you know about what happens between a husband and wife?" She blushed. "Only what others said. That it hurts. That women just get through it." "They were wrong," he said quietly. "Real closeness is not pain. It's connection. And connection needs trust." He explained gently, without rush, how tenderness mattered more than expectation, how patience mattered more than ritual, and how shame had no place between two people learning each other for the first time. Finally, he stood and offered his hand. "Come," he said softly. "Stand with me." She rose, towering over him, and he looked up at her not with intimidation but with admiration. "Your dress looks tight," he murmured. "Is it uncomfortable?" She nodded shyly. I made it loose as I could, but nothing ever fits someone like me. Then let's take it off, he said gently. Not for anything rushed, only so you can breathe. Tonight is about comfort, not expectation. Her breath hitched, but in his eyes she saw sincerity, patience, safety. And for the first time in her life, Saskia felt chosen. Wanted. Safe. What followed wasn't fear, wasn't haste, wasn't pressure. It was the beginning of trust, two hearts learning each other slowly, carefully, gently. For the first time, Saskia understood. She wasn't too much. The world had simply never been big enough for her.